requirements actually sort of increase. They have stringent needs, they have higher needs, they want to have more customizable solutions. They want something that is easier to onboard and integrate, and then it's easier for them to include in their merchant solution, so they can manage the buyer's flow better, they can understand the end-to-end consumer behavior, so they can improve their solution and serve his or her customers the best as they can. Well, first of all, they want things to be cheaper, but just the price aside, they want to be given tools which then allow them to modify and tweak their checkout and the payment flow in a way that they can understand the consumer behavior, they can keep it on a website longer, and they can increase the conversion rates without the current sort of high rates, dropouts, which they don't understand why it happens and where exactly in the flow it happens. And also not just the tools, but I'm sure they will benefit a lot from the analytics side to see how the data that we would gather actually would help them to improve their business, sell more, or improve their operations and understand their customers better so they can serve them better again. So what we're trying to achieve, maybe the vision probably will be, it's very straightforward. So Southeast Asia actually is a very diverse and fragmented market. There are many different currencies, languages, and payment methods besides just credit cards that people use to buy things online. And what we're trying to do is include all the different local payment methods and localize the solution that includes pretty much every available option that exists in the market, put it in one place. So that way the merchants can cater and serve all the different types of buyers that exist in Southeast Asia without the need of partnering with multiple channels and managing different channels. So it would be sort of like a one-stop solution that allows them to manage and serve the widest possible audience. But if your requirements increase and you want to be able to manage your payment process in an easier way, we'll be providing the facilities to do that. So the key differentiator is actually will be much easier to use and integrate the current solutions, the current solutions that exist. But also we're looking to include all the different local payment methods besides the ones that current payment providers serve. So let's say if you are based in Singapore and then there are payment methods that exist there, so integrate with one player. But when you expand and you go to, let's say, Malaysia, then you have to partner up with another player to serve the audience that exists there. So that's another hassle, it's another issue. Then you have to, spend a lot of time integrating another platform, test it, you have to sign contracts, you have to manage a second party, which adds complexity. By 2018, it plans to reach $35 billion in sales. Where it's going, it's hard to say. I think the sky is the limit. The population is rising. The number of available resources that they have is increasing very fast as well. So I anticipate that it's going to reach, pretty much sort of Western or even Chinese levels, not very long from now. I think the biggest one is actually logistics. So it's actually difficult to do this delivery on time to different places because of this fragmentation and variety. Take example of Philippines. They have many thousands of islands available, and then people start ordering to those remote locations. It is very difficult to efficiently and on time deliver a product to those remote locations. So logistics is definitely probably the biggest hurdle for the merchants to overcome. But the second thing is actually the payments. As I said, there are many different payment methods in all the different places, so they have to manage and cater those payment methods, and also the currency despair. You have to deal with many different currencies, which is becoming a problem, and the cultures. So even though in general you might look that the cultures are the same, but they have different type of specificities. They have to tweak and modify, the merchants have to tweak and modify the platform, not only on the language way, but also how it looks like. We'll take example of, you would create a different solution and a different look and feel for people in Hong Kong, for example, to people who are based in Japan. Well, I think the best thing that they can do is actually talk to their customers. So the closer they are to customers, the more conversations they have with them, the better will they understand how they think, how they behave, and what they really need. So there's not really a one solution for all, because it depends on the type of customer that you're targeting. But I think the crucial takeaway is just to speak to your customers every day and have an open conversation. Ask them, like, what did you think about the process? Like, is there something that I can do to help you, purchase or process or have delivery and done in a way that you would feel more comfortable with. And even observe. So you don't necessarily have to speak to them, but sit them in a room and just observe how they actually interact with your platform and solution. So that way you can see actually how they behave, how they think. Because very often what they say might be a little bit different actually to how they behave.